In rare moments throughout history, a movement grows so strong, so powerful, that it becomes legend. A legend that spans decades, continents, that spreads across our world. This legend involves an army of sorts, millions strong. From children to the aged, from the hardcore to the casual warrior. No one is turned away. To succeed in this army, you need not be strong of arm, but strong of mind and heart. I speak, of course, of the legend of Age of Empires. This legend begins at the dawn of civilization, 1997. Even in the dreaded age of dial-up internet, a spark of creation grew in Dallas, Texas, and heralded the rise of greatness. A sophisticated real-time strategy game set in authentic historical ages. Players chose a campaign and turned a handful of villagers into a thriving empire, progressing from primitive Stone Age through the Tool, Bronze, and Iron Ages. Players could conquer the ancient world from the Mediterranean to Egypt, see the famous Hanging Gardens of Babylon, and rule alongside Hammurabi, or dominate the islands of Japan under the light of the rising sun. Players weren't just choosing different scenery. Each civilization had distinct unit advantages and disadvantages. Age of Empires was expanded by the rise of Rome, which introduced technological innovations like unit queuing and hotkeys. The expansion grew not just the world of the game, but the fans of Age of Empires into a force that was millions strong. The game was so popular that later on it was given out for free in some cereal boxes in Australia. Just a year later, Age of Empires 2, The Age of Kings was released. In an entirely new time period and across different landscapes, players could conquer fresh horizons. They could invade Eurasia with Genghis Khan, crusade with Barbarossa, drive back the invaders with Saladin, inspire their country with Joan of Arc, or protect their homelands with William Wallace. The discovery of hidden cheat codes helped ease the path to victory. Some of these cheat codes gave military units crucial help on the battlefield, or fed hungry villagers, while some gave you a really sweet car. While some things had changed, others remained the same. Players had to be careful, yet bold, patient, but also swift. If they used their resources wisely, players could make technological advances in the military, economy, religion, and if... No! You'll never convert me! Begone, vile priests! After conquering the world of man, those behind Age of Empires set their sights on new horizons. Now players could travel to mythological realms, interacting with creatures of lore as the Atlantean war hero Arkantos. They traveled across known and unknown worlds, from Atlantis to Egypt to the Norselands. Ever since its release, players have longed for a definitive edition of Age of Mythology, but it has remained the stuff of myth. Age of Empires 2 introduced another innovative function: multiplayer accounts. Players could face off with real enemies across the world or across the room. Age of Empires 3 picked up in the late 16th century, with players exploring North America in a quest for the Fountain of Youth. Players could choose between 8 different civilizations as they followed the story of the Black family through 5 ages. The campaign opened up the possibility of other civilizations, and the expansion packs added in more options with the war chiefs and the Asian dynasties. Age of Empires 3 also introduced the Havoc physics engine and home cities. Cheat codes, of course, remained highly sought after. Unfortunately, the AI evolved along with the game.
All hail, King of the Losers!
With these 4 first games, Age of Empires had established itself across the world. The popularity of the game grew and spread. Age of Empires 2 and 3 were re-released on Steam, but it wasn't enough. Fans needed more empires, more worlds to conquer. So when Microsoft told people to ask me anything online, fans jumped in and asked, could we please have more Age of Empires? And Microsoft replied, how many empires do you need? In 2017, the torch was passed to a new band of innovators. These new explorers scoured the corners of the Earth, bringing forth an accuracy and detail never seen before.
Took what was already pretty incredible and just made it even better.
Finally, in 2018, the first definitive edition was released. The original Age of Empires had been given graphical improvements, 4K resolution, and a remastered soundtrack. It was everything the players had loved about the original game, now using the most modern technology.
The definitive edition started with looking at something that was already going on.
A small group of passionate guys at the Age 2 community were working on this unofficial expansion for Age of Empires 2.
On the 20-year anniversary of the release of Age of Kings, a definitive edition of that game was released. It featured new AI and 4K resolution that allowed players to see their unfinished castles in crystal clear detail. It also introduced in-game colorblind options, expanding accessibility. Innovation that continued with the definitive edition of Age of Empires 3. Along with other upgrades, this edition would grow to include more civilizations, including Africa, Mexico, and the Mediterranean. All the while, players continued to harness their power, testing their strategies in tournaments across the world. A fight song sounded, the beats of war. And heroes emerged.
The Viper taking home his first Red Bull Championship.
And in 2021, a new chapter in the legend was released with Age of Empires 4, building their empires from the Dark Age through the Imperial Age, with stunning graphics, vast landscapes, and new ways to taunt their opponents.
Are you ready to battle?
But the story isn't over yet. As long as players across the world build new empires, outmaneuver their enemies, and protect their people, Age of Empires not only continues to grow, it evolves, inspires, transcends. It becomes greater than the sum of its parts. It becomes legend.